Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Sports Hit List, I am the Outlaw of Long Island, Zach Droll, joined with.
Michael Murillo, the analyst.
And today, guys, we got some things to talk about. We're going to talk about the Wednesday Night Wars and how NXT is kind of really suffering in this situation. So, Mike, you brought up the topic that you wanted to talk. You want to do this, so I'm going to let you start off.
Yeah, sure. So obviously AEW Dynamite, the new kid in town, and to be quite honest, we've spoken about this, and you've kind of questioned it.
Yeah.
But the reason why they're losing right now is simply because Dynamite is the flagship show. We all love NXT.
Correct.
NXT is amazing.
Correct.
Okay. But the bottom line is they're the third brand show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time before Vince McMahon just pulls the plug and is like, okay, I can't take enough. USA Network can't take enough. Let's leave. TNT is kind of the same way. But AEW, they're being consistent. You see, it's just the issue is that wrestling is not as popular as it once was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Because these guys, they can't hit 1 million, but either way, AEW is winning, and it's just...
Well, I did my research into this, as I always do. I am the research guy when it comes down to looking up certain topics.
Okay.
And so NXT has only won the ratings 4 times. They've only won it the build-up to Survivor Series, and then in the past recent weeks with Dynamite's more like filler shows.
Make it 3. Don't make it 4. Make it 3 because Dynamite did not have a show.
No, I didn't count the I didn't count the one for Christmas.
Oh, you didn't count the one for Christmas?
Yes,
okay.
If that was so, that would be 5. It's 4.
Yeah, I mean, that it's not the talent's fault.
It's really that if you look at like NXT, not NXT, AEW, they filmed like 20 to maybe like 30 matches in advance in their like disclosed location in Georgia. They filmed like 3 to 4 weeks worth of television,
right,
in like a matter of a couple of days.
NXT tried to do the same thing. It's just the thing about WWE is that they love to play it safe.
Yeah, of course.
Play it safe. Look at what AEW did when this started going down. When you couldn't have
that first show was amazing with no crowd. They did it right.
They did perfect. Okay, have the wrestlers there. MJF and Shawn Spears were having a bet.
Oh, that was fun.
Yes, that's what it's talking about. NXT is missing that. I have a feeling that if they would have started doing that, they would have maybe had a chance. But you know what? Bottom line is one of the two companies will end up being off air. That's my personal belief.
I think that with NXT, like how they're suffering though is like I definitely like the live crowds are a key thing. Like I say this ad nauseum. Like the AEW guys and girls, they know how to work with a small audience. They come from the indies where maybe at most, if they go to the bingo halls, there's like a couple hundred people there.
But without a doubt.
Yeah.
But the NXT guys, they're still great. First off, NXT has a strong women's division, which I think.
I will agree with that 100%. Yes.
But AEW has a strong tag team division.
Yes, they do.
They have a better division than NXT.
Yes.
It's not, it's difficult because it's not a matter of matches. NXT delivers when they have the takeover.
Oh, yes, they do. Of course.
AEW delivers. Obviously, they just delivered.
But now, I want you to picture this. So, picture that that COVID-19 and coronavirus never happened, and we went forward with blood and guts. I think NXT would no longer be competition anymore at that point. I think after blood and guts, going forward, I think AEW would be sweeping the rug.
Yeah,
so for NXT suffering, I think that like they can pull through with this. Like I will admit that like, there's probably going to be a down period where AEW is only drawing in maybe like 900,000 and NXT can pull in 1 million.
No, that's the thing though. I don't see that in the foreseeable future.
I think once we get back to our normal schedule of stuff of crowds, I think the first NXT and the first AEW back on live TV with live crowds, it's gonna be really hard to tell who's gonna pull it in.
No, I disagree. It's just AEW is the flagship show, man. I mean,
well, at this point, I'm not like, for me, I'm an AEW elitist, and you know this. I love something new.
Yes,
it's just that I don't think that after all this, even if like Blood and Guts happens after all this goes down, will AEW be able to keep that viewership? I want them to, because like it's fun knowing that there's something better out there, and there's something with a newer, fresher feel. Like with the tag team division, there's rumors and almost certainly confirmed that the Revival, or now known as Fear the Revolt, are in AEW.
They could be going. Okay, now let me ask you.
It's not really a could. It's a probably confirmed, because after being the Elite, the FTR in the sky.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question then. Yes. How do you think Vince McMahon is taking this right now? The fact come on, somebody has to come up to him and tell him, "Listen, Vince, we're not even pulling 700."
He's going crazy. The speech he did to Triple H after on SmackDown, Vince is losing it. After the XFL went belly up, Vince has gone crazy.
Okay, and what about Triple H? Triple H still has hope.
Triple H, like, if he takes over the company, we have a solid possibility of them surviving the war.
Well, let's talk about NXT for Triple H. He's not sweating over this. I mean, the USA should it be sweating over this? To be personally quite honest, if I were the USA executives, I'd be like, man, we're losing a lot of ratings on Monday. Excuse me, on Wednesday. Like, what's going on here? The thing about WWE, though, that I will say about NXT is that if they go off air, they always have the network to bounce back on.
That's if they keep the network, if their deals with ESPN don't fall through.
I highly doubt it. I mean, listen, what was the downfall of WCW? Ratings.
Ratings, yes.
Okay. What could be the downfall of NXT?
Ratings.
All right. So let's look at this right now, not in the long term, but let's look at this in the summer, okay? Because of what's going on, I highly doubt that the viewership will be as high as it was last year, okay?
Yeah, I can understand that.
So with that being said, I don't think there's going to be any repercussions for the next 2 months. Now, a year from now, will there be repercussions? That's a question that everybody must be asking themselves. Me as a person, I love to watch both. Okay, they're great. But at the end of the day, you got to think as a network executive. Okay, the bottom line. I mean, if I'm a network executive, I'm thinking, man, I'm losing to TNT. Really? Like, I don't want that.
TNT is not that bad. TNT has some good like product overall on its own legs.
Yeah, but USA Network, they've already competed against TNT before, and like, man, you know what? It's difficult because both products are great. I love to switch on and off, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's the flagship show.
Yeah,
it's going to be difficult for them to catch up. At this point, we'll just see what happens. I mean, it hasn't even been a year, so.
And for AEW, it's almost, if you count.
Double Nothing.
If you count Double or Nothing.
No, but I'm talking about Dynamite. Oh
yeah, true. Yeah, well, yeah.
Dynamite and NXT on cable television. Hasn't been a year yet. See what happens.
It feels weird. It feels like it's been forever.
Does it really?
For me at least, since as a wrestling fan, time is like no construct to us anymore.
Yeah, I feel like I blinked and then all of a sudden we're here.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be very difficult. But you know what? AEW is going to continue to produce the best content.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Double or Nothing. NXT at this point, I don't know what they're gonna do because they have some great things that are up in the air right now. AEW is thinking ahead of time, and this is a huge record. This is huge for Tony Khan because Tony Khan's a young guy.
It really is.
He's a young guy who's steering the ship, and he's doing great.
Well, like, did you hear that both him and I think Cody wrote that entire like 3 weeks of matches and writing for the shows?
Not surprised whatsoever.
Like it was a little bit all over the place. It was clear. A lot of it was jumbled up. But no one's perfect in this situation. I think the trying to think of a lot of things like the TNT championship bracket. I think it would have been better if it went a certain way. It would have been a lot better if it went a different way.
I'll tell you this, that TNT championship tournament,
it's
that is how you bring in ratings.
That is
exciting. That's unpredictable. Well, what kind of was predictable. We all knew who was going to end up in the final.
Well, I was hoping for Darby and Lance.
Come on, Jake the Snake Roberts cut a great promo saying that he wants some of Cody's part in AEW. I think we all saw that coming. But either way, I think it's going to be a great match. We'll see what happens. But this is one thing that I want to mention to the audience and to people who are wrestling fans. Jim Cornette on his podcast reviews AEW. He does not even talk about NXT. So just think about that for a second.
But he reviews AEW in a very poor way. So what does that tell you?
No, in a very poor way? But he still does it. What does that tell me? And he even writes notes on it. What does that say? A guy who's always bitter and a guy who literally hates a person he hates Vince Russo. So it's
yes, of course, and he hates Orange Cassidy. He hates almost everybody in the business.
A guy who's in his 60s who really complains about everything watches the new kid in town instead of watching his former employer. That says a lot, man. I mean, come on.
I think it's time for us to give our closing thoughts. I'm gonna start off with the closing thoughts. I think this overall just spiraled into a Wednesday Night War talk and our overall thoughts. So with Wednesday Night Wars going forward, I think if AEW keeps up what they're doing, I believe that they're going back to live programming as we speak. I think they're in the works to go back to Daly's Place, which is a beautiful arena. That moment where Matt Hardy was in the rafters with his arms up and Jericho just staring at him as that piano played, that was mesmerizing. That was the most, I get goosebumps right now just thinking about it. It was so cool. But I think overall the Wednesday Night Wars is a good new fresh take on wrestling lore for the new kids, for them to experience what our parents got to experience.
Okay, my final thoughts are simple. This was just brought up recently about the Wednesday Night Wars, at least in my head. To be quite honest, people are going to continue to watch either way. You know what? This is a great time to be a wrestling fan.
Oh, it is.
There's so many options out there. The question is, though, how long can NXT keep going like this?
Or even AEW.
That's the thing. AEW keeps winning. So for right now, I'm going to say, okay, ratings, AEW's winning, but nobody's in jeopardy. Let's look at September, which is when NXT started with USA.
Yes.
If by September nothing changes, we'll see what happens.
All right.
Simple as that.
All right, everyone, thank you all for watching this episode of Wednesday Wrestling with the Sports Hit List podcast. I'm here to remind you to support your local wrestlers, buy their merch on Pro Wrestling Tees and other places wherever you can. It's a need be. It's tough times. These guys make a living off of wrestling, and they're not wrestling, so buy their merch. It's a need be. I am the Outlaw of Long Island from the From Another Ring podcast, giving you the sign off. And Mike, you can also give your ending bits as well.
Well, I am the analyst. People, please go on my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, Mike Merrill 19. But also follow the Sports Hit List. Please.
Yes.
The Sports Hit List on Instagram, on Twitter.
Watch everywhere you can. We are trying to get a lot of things done for right now. COVID has kind of hasn't stopped us yet, and also guys, the predictions title, the new and approved predictions title is coming.
Just
It's
one
currently
last thing.
on the way.